this is Dan Nielsen with Genuine Pest Control in Omaha, Nebraska and Council Bluffs, Iowa. And you're listening to the world's #1 pest control training podcast, the Pest Geek Podcast with Franklin Hernandez.
Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of the Pest Geek podcast. I am your host, Frank Hernandez, here every day discussing all things pest. And I want to remind everybody to join the Pest Geek Society. Join the revolution of what's happening in the pest control industry. Join us on Facebook, Pest Geek Podcast Listeners Group. We're also on Twitter. We're on YouTube, pestgeekpodcast.com. Join us. Join in on the conversation. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you need to be more successful. Contribute, engage. And now here's Jeff McGovern with today's topic.
Thank you, Frank. As always, it's wonderful to be able to address the members of the Pest Geek Podcast Society. What I want to kick around today is something I learned again yesterday with regards to service. Now, as a pest control operator, as a PMP, as an industry consultant, I get into a lot of different roles. And when it comes to things like social media, I look at what's being done with some of it right now, and it's a little bit scary. I see people posting pictures of things on what they say are private Facebook pages, and we all know how private those things are. I see commentary coming out from some people that is a little bit horrifying in the way that it's rude, it's nasty, it's things like that. I understand people need to express themselves, but where does that information go and what happens to it and how many people react to it in a negative manner and you never hear anything? Well, I relate to you a little story that happened to me just the last day or so, and it reminded me of the positive power of social media when we do it right. And recently I had one of the cryonite systems that I work with develop a leak. And that happens. This particular cryonite gun is one that I carry with me when I'm doing demos in different parts of the country. And so I pack it into my bag that's checked on the plane. And, well, I know it's been manhandled by TSA a few times because I've opened the case when I got to a meeting. And you know what? The literature was all gone, or the padding was all gone. The gun was in a completely different place in the case. And so I know that it's got beat up. Well, it developed a leak recently, and I noticed it when I was at a show. And I called the cryonite folks and talked to David Cook. And David says, "Hey, Jeff, no sweat. We'll do exactly what we do when one goes down with a person using the product in the field. I'll ship you a gun you can use, and just send that one back in and we'll repair it." Hey, now that's good customer service. He wants me to have a gun to use. I won't be down. If I was a PMP in the field, that's great, because I'm going to have a replacement gun. The moment it shows up, I got my replacement. I send mine in, they fix it. He sends it back. I swap him back out and send it back, and the labels are prepaid. I mean, that's pretty cool. But that's what started this whole thing. Because yesterday I needed to get that gun sent off. I was finally home for a little while. That doesn't happen very often this time of year. So I was going to batch up the gun, package it up, pad it and everything. Oh man, I remembered the box that they sent it in was just about trashed. It was all bent up and beaten up, and I thought, oh man, I'm going to have to take this over to the package supply place. It's going to be a hassle. There'll be lines and all this foolishness going on. I'll never get out of there. It's going to waste time. I thought, okay, I can do it. So you know what? I left the house with a broken box, a piece of equipment that needed to be repaired, a roll of tape, and I was going to take it over and deal with it at the package store, have to buy another box and go through all this stuff. And I was aggravated. I was not in a good mood. Stuff happens, you know? You got enough other things worried in your day without having to worry about a box. So I get over to City Shippers in Palatka, Florida. Walk in the door, and I walked in thinking, oh boy, here goes a good portion of my day. And you know what? It wasn't crowded. There were some people in there doing business. That's fine. That's what they're there for. But somebody greeted me as soon as I went in. And they said, hey, you know what? We'll be with you in just a few minutes. I walked up by the counter, and I already felt better because somebody was nice to me. And I went ahead and laid out everything on the counter I needed to do. I got my label out, and the gentleman walked over to me and said, hey, I'm finishing up something else. I'll be with you in just a moment. So now I had two people greet me. In just a few minutes, I felt even better. Well, he walked over and he saw the box and he said, what's this? And of course, being that I like to do speaking and stuff, I launched into a little bit of a discussion about what the cryonite gun was. He was actually interested. We talked back and forth, and while he was doing that, he said, hey, you know what? This box will be fine. I don't really need to sell you another one, and let me go ahead and we'll get this packed for you. And we went ahead and discussed all this, and I was expecting to have to pay for his services or whatever, and we got all done, and he said, oh, don't worry about it. There's no charge. He said, you had your pre-printed label. He said, a few pieces of tape, you're good to go, man. Have a great day. And so I walked in having felt like crap, and I walked out and I thought, wow, that was really cool. Now, right then, I could have just taken off and gone about my business. But I thought for a second. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to post about how happy I was with this visit just a few minutes out of my day. But you know what? They gave me such sterling service that I decided to go ahead and make a post. So I took my camera, my phone, and I shot a picture of the front of the store. And then I sat there in my car and I went ahead and just filled out on the Welcome to Our City site that Palatka has. And that site has actually more members. I think if you add all the pest control sites together for our little town, we have more members. So I guess, the economy of scale thing. But, I just made a posting on there about how wonderful the service was. It made my day. It was great. I mentioned the name of the business, had a picture of their front door, posted it, went on my way. I was shocked with the amount of positive response that little post got. I think right now, here it is, a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. I did this Friday afternoon, and already it has over 200 likes and a huge string of commentary with people saying how wonderful that little business was. Now, what I got from that was I made all those people's day, especially the ones that commented about their wonderful experiences with that business, because they got to participate in the good feelings that I had regarding that place. So here we are as pest control professionals, pest management professionals, if you will, driving around every day doing business. We get gas, we eat lunch, we go to the store, and you know what? What would it hurt if we would start posting something positive when it happens to us? Take a moment and say thanks, because I can't believe the promotion he got in his business with one simple posting I made. And other people are sharing it, and they're talking about their wonderful experiences. What if you did that for businesses that you work with now? Put something down positive. There's a lot of negative on all the sites. Social media is full of negative. But I'm amazed what happens when you throw a positive in there and you give people the nudge to pass on a good word. Because I think if we start doing that a little more often in our professional lives, people will pass on a good word about us as well. And I've taken that lesson to heart. And I guarantee you that when I get good service for something very simple, I'm gonna say something. Because if that promotes business and that promotes good attitude, I'm all for it. And if social media can help us do that on a regular basis, you bet that's exactly what I'm going to do. And so, that's my commentary for today. Put something positive out there on social media. Compliment somebody on something positive they have done. Express the gratitude for the good service and for the smile they put on your face, for you or for your family or for your business. I think that's the way to promote things forward. And so, folks, this is Jeff McGovern, the Pest Coach, signing off for now. I'll be back with another subject next week. And Frank, I'll turn it back to you.
We hope you have enjoyed this edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. Have a pestacular day.
Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.